It is very unfortunate, ladies and gentlemen, what happened today. Let's say at around 3:30, 4 p.m. pale hivo. Those who have been following the body of Raila Odinga since it touched down at Jomo Kenyatta International Airport, I know you know what exactly I'm speaking about. Watu wamekufa. Ni kubaya. Well, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another video where I have something very sad that ningependa tuweze kudiscuss. Today, this program of Kenyans set to view Raila Odinga's body has turned out to be something else. This was the last thing that Raila Odinga would have wanted. Raila Odinga should never even viewed or never even imagined people losing their lives during the day which he is supposed to be mourned, he is supposed to be celebrated as a good leader. This is something which should have never happened. What happened at Kasarani, a lot of people are looking at it from different angles, but there is this one theory which I've seen it across different platforms, a number of people speaking about it, and I would like to post the thing to you so that you can also advise me better, tell me more about what you think, and at the end of the video, I would really like you to comment down in the comment section below what you think about this whole thing. I would like you to first of all watch this video. It's a video of the Cabinet Secretary for Interior Security, who is Waziri Kipchumba Murkomen. And in the video, you are going to see Waziri trying to urge the KDF, the officers, not to injure or shoot the people who are there. But the moment he heard those sounds, he moved very quickly because this is something which was never supposed to happen. But you also ask yourself a lot of questions. What led to that situation? So first of all, ladies and gentlemen, watch this video of Waziri Kipchumba Murkomen a few moments before people started kuweza kupigwa risasi ama kupatana na yale majanga ambayo yamesababisha. Right now we are counting a number of people ambao wameweza kupoteza maisha yao. Hebu tazama. As you have seen in that footage, breaking news. Shocking scenes at Kasarani Stadium as thousands of Kenyans gathered to view the body of Raila Odinga. Reports have emerged that several people tragically lost their lives in the massive crowd. Tonight, mtazamaji wangu, we'll dig deeper. What really happened? What really happened inside Kasarani Stadium? And why are some Kenyans saying this tragedy could be more than just an accident? Ladies and gentlemen, have you ever had this feeling like, you know, when I was watching everything unfold, seeing the sheer number of people who had come out to welcome Raila's body, escort Raila's body, sometimes you have this feeling like something bad is going to happen out of all of this. You imagine if one thing goes wrong, we are going to start counting losses, and already people have seen those losses, from financial losses to loss of life. In Nairobi streets, people are saying their vehicles have been destroyed, a number of shops have been looted, and there is even a video showing a number of men carrying a gate which was meant to from Parliament. So people went ahead, destroyed the Parliament gate. Some of them took parts of it away so that maybe they can weigh them in kilos and get paid. A lot of losses have been seen. So ladies and gentlemen, Before we continue, before we discuss deeper about what this actually means and why a number of Kenyans feel like this could maybe not be just like any other accident, I would like to first of all remind you that this is Duffy Updates, a place where I bring to you latest political news, well detailed and well explained. This is a place where we basically come to talk about these things, try to understand them better, and this period when we are mourning Raila Odinga, I think it is good that we discuss everything about him because he has done a very big job, which I don't think he can be paid in any way. What he sacrificed for Kenyans is a lot, and I think by us talking about him, we are honoring his name and showing respect. So I'd like to request that if you are watching this video and you have not joined our community yet, kindly feel free, feel welcomed, join us by clicking the subscribe button under this video. It's free of charges, it will just take you one click. Also give this video a thumbs up, and finally click the notification icon on. Also, don't forget to leave your thoughts down in the comment section below, telling me where you're watching this video from. If you're watching the video inside Kenya, tell me which county and how you are taking this news about Raila Odinga's death. And if you're watching out of the country, tell us, how did the news get to you? What is the mood in the place where you are? I'll be checking your comments and making sure I go through them. So make sure to leave your thoughts down in the comment section below. According to eyewitnesses, the stampede, you have to understand that as much as we are saying people have lost their lives, it was because of a number of reasons. First of all, I've already showed you the video of Kipchumba Murkomen acting in a way that showed he did not wish what happened to happen. But you have to ask yourself, how did we get there? There were a lot of people who came out to see Raila's body, to a level where the Kasarani Stadium, which is meant to host about 60,000 people, those are the ones who can sit on the chairs. But when you include the ground itself, the middle part, I think the numbers can go up to maybe 100,000 people. So that stadium was filled to the brim. A lot of people had gone there, and because of the delay and everything, people started going to the entrance, and they started demanding that they would want Raila's body to be brought out so that they can see it. This resulted to them even throwing objects at the KDF officers who are there, who are providing security. They started to throw objects at the presidential dais where the president usually stays, and this is when all hell broke loose. I would like you to watch these two videos, which are going to give you a clear picture of what really triggered everything that happened after. So according to the video that you have already seen there, that was just one of the things that triggered the police to start using tear gas. They went ahead and even used risasi, which was very dangerous. You know, a place that has already been filled by thousands of people, kutumia live zile risasi za kweli, it's something very dangerous because it is very sure it's going to hit somebody. So police, those were not the only reason why people lost their lives, but also according to eyewitnesses, there was a stampede. You know, when people are trying to get to safety and everybody is fighting for himself, there are people who are not as lucky as others, and they might fall, they might get trapped maybe in some places, and when the people behind that person or those people pass over them, that's referred to as a stampede. So there was also a stampede, and the stampede began after the gates were overwhelmed by sheer number of mourners Officials have also confirmed multiple injuries and several deaths. Several deaths, ladies and gentlemen, means that there are more than two. A heartbreaking end of those who came only to pay their last respect. One of the survivors from that particular ground, Kasarani Stadium, was heard saying, people were people were pushing from every side. We couldn't breathe. Soon after news, so you have to ask yourself, what's the public reaction after all this has happened? Soon after the news about the deaths broke, I'm talking about EVV Fovia, these people who died inside the stadium, social media lit up with reactions. Some users expressed anger at the lack of crowd control, while others raised deeper, darker questions, wondering if these tragic losses could hold a symbolic meaning. You know, everything that happens has a meaning and has a reason. Hmm? When today came, God already knew this was going to happen. Eh? It was already meant to happen. It was only a matter of time. So after the videos went out and people saw what had happened, the social media platforms, different users, everything lit up and people started asking questions. Some of them were angry at the government for lack of crowd control, because it is something which has been seen a number of times. Even during the CHAN tournament, this was a problem. Crowd control was a problem. Every time there is a big gathering, crowd control is usually a problem. And the fact that this was something which I can say was expected, considering Raila Odinga's influence and love, how people love him, they are die-hard supporters. I think the government already knew people are going to turn out in large numbers and they should have prepared better. So a lot of Kenyans were angry at how the government failed to control the crowd well, and others raised deeper, darker questions. Like, for example, some of them wondered if this tragic loss of people's lives could hold a symbolic meaning. One of the people was heard asking, why always chaos during political battles or political events? Or is this a spiritual sacrifice? I know also you, from whichever place you are watching this video from, if you have been following politics for a number of years, this is not the first time something like this is being spoken about. Also during the 2024 Gen Z protest, for the ones who lost their lives outside parliament, a number of people were saying that that was a sacrifice that Gen Zs had to pay for whatever followed to happen. But why is it like that? Why is it that people must always pay a sacrifice for something to happen? Of course, ladies and gentlemen, you have to understand that these are unverified public opinions, but the fact that so many Kenyans are connecting these dots shows how deeply emotional and spiritual this moment is for the nation. Let's go to the cultural context. Why people are connecting these dots in tradition wise and in culture wise. What does this say, or what can it be explained as? In African traditions, moments of great political transition or mourning often carry spiritual significance. Experts say this can lead to public speculations, especially when tragedy strikes during powerful national events. A sociologist explains that people often interpret unexplained loss through spiritual or symbolic lenses. It helps communities process pain and uncertainty. So I hope this helps you understand better why people are saying this. When something happens and people can't find a good reason why it happened, especially if it is a painful loss, people tend to associate that thing with something spiritual. So when Gen Zs died at parliament and Kenyans were like, it was not supposed to happen, or it was something that could have been avoided, some people went ahead and said and associated that with something spiritual. Maybe it's a sacrifice, things like those, like something you can't pinpoint. This is exactly what caused this. When at Kasarani this happened, people are trying to look at everything. It was supposed to be a mourning day. We were not supposed to start mourning other people. And that's the reason why a lot of people feel like there is a spiritual connection to everything that is happening. Let's go to the this segment which explains something about blood sacrifice. You know, when those people died or when they got shot, blood was poured to the ground, and there is always, when blood is poured in most traditions, that is a sacrifice, or there is a covenant that has been made between what was happening. According to theory, let's address the conversation many Kenyans have been having online. They talk on blood sacrifice. It's important to be clear, there is no verified evidence. I want you to understand this. There is no verified evidence linking these deaths to any ritual or planned act. You know, if it was something which was planned, we will be talking about a different story. We are just discussing and speculating. These just things which are very spiritual, and we can't actually know what caused them. It's important to be clear. There is no verified evidence linking these deaths to any ritual or planned act. However, many online discussions connect the loss of life at major political events to long-standing beliefs about power, sacrifice, and fate. If you remember, in most scenarios where a certain person ends up having a lot of power, most of the time, before he got that power or she got that power, loss of lives or blood being spilled is usually involved. Eh? So when one believer is whether one believes in it or not, this theory reflects a deep fear among citizens, a fear that the powerful moments in our politics always come at a painful human cost. And when you look even at the Kenyan history, this is something which we are going to see has been happening. It's like a pattern. Every time Kenyans needed to do something significant in politics, there was loss of lives. People had to sacrifice themselves, and those people now are celebrated because what they did was something which was very selfless. And the loss of life is, I think, is the biggest loss which a person can go through. According to the official position, authorities have urged the public to remain calm and avoid spreading unverified information. Police investigations are ongoing to determine exactly what caused the fatal clash at the stadium, but I've already showed you some of the videos which could have triggered everything that happened. At the end of the day, ladies and gentlemen, what happened at Kasarani is a national tragedy. And I even mentioned earlier that this is the last thing Raila Odinga would have wanted. More people losing their lives while mourning him. This is something which he did not want to happen. And I think the reason why um, he even advised that he be buried within 72 hours, it is because he knew things like this are going to bring the country to a standstill. People are not going to work, businesses will not be opened, and as soon as possible as the things about burying him came to an end, the better. So I think that's the real. Raila was actually very wise and he saw ahead. Families are mourning and a country is in shock. Whether seen as a tragic accident or something with deeper meaning, this moment will leave a lasting scar on Kenyan's political and spiritual history. You know, now men of God, mostly there might be true men of God, false men of God. They are going to be dissecting what happened today in all ways, mostly spiritual. I've seen a number of times that something like this happening, and it ends up being explained as something very deep. So this something which is there, I know you also know it's there, and I just brought it to you because I want to hear your opinion. According to you, already it's very sad we have lost those people, and we have lost them in circumstances that were supposed to be of mourning. We were not supposed to mourn other people. Just tell me in the comment section, according to you, what do you think? What are your thoughts? Was the Was this purely a tragic accident, or is this something deeper happening behind the scenes? Comment your thoughts down below. And also, before you leave, make sure to join us by clicking the subscribe button, give this video a thumbs up, and don't forget to click the notification icon on. Bye bye.